We can't stop. We won't stop. We can't stop. And we won't stop. We true soldiers. And y'all know nah. Nah. Make them say, nah. Nah. Make them say, nah. What's up, YouTube? Your boy back once again with another sport topic. And today we gonna talk some football. Houston Texans football. We about to break down and recap the Houston Texans embarrassing, just absolute slashing, demolishment, just an absolute embarrassment of the Texans performance versus the Buffalo Bills. Houston Texans lose 40-0. They were a 17-point and a half underdog going on the road to Buffalo. Buffalo was just in the AFC Championship game. I understand that. But 40-0. 40-0. And y'all thought Davis Mills was a good quarterback. Y'all really thought that Davis Mills was going to be the franchise quarterback. No, like, y'all just gotta understand. The people in my comment section, people be messaging me, seeing me all these different stats. Davis Mills had a better start than Deshaun Watson first start. Like, his start compared to Deshaun Watson first start was better. Davis Mills had a better performance in the preseason than Deshaun Watson did. And yeah, I know Davis Mills ain't Deshaun Watson. Davis Mills can go out there and throw 5 touchdowns against the Patriots, and he won't beat Deshaun Watson. And they're two different styles of quarterback. I understand that, so I never was comparing him to Deshaun Watson. But people really out here defending. He the next Tom Brady, man. Give him a chance, bro. Did y'all watch what happened Sunday? Did y'all see that? Did y'all see that performance? Let's talk about it. Because even though it was that type of performance, it's a lot to break down. Not really, but it's really a lot to break down. Let's talk about it. Like I say, the Houston Texans lose 40-0. I know you fellas know my name, man. 40-0. I know you fellas know my name, man. So Houston Texans lose. Davis Mills was 11 of 22 for 52.4% with 87 yards, averaging 4.1 yards per attempt, no touchdowns, 4 interceptions, sacked 3 times with a quarterback rating of 23.4. Mark Ingram had 6 rushes for 24 yards. David Johnson had 5 rushes for 21 yards. Brandon Cooks was targeted 7 times, caught 5 catches for 47 yards. David Johnson was targeted 4 times with 3 catches for 27 yards. And that's pretty much all of the offense I can name. The Texans' best play offensively was Lion Johnson's pick. They generated I think it was like 27 to 30 yards. It was like, I can't get the exact number because nobody's pulling it up. I'm just going back off of what I seen. And I'm thinking it's like 27 to 30 yards. Like that. That's the Houston Texans' best play offensively. Now let's talk about the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen was 20 of 29 for 69% for 248 yards, averaging 8.6 yards per attempt with 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, 1 sack with a quarterback rating of 103.8. David Singletary, the Bills running back, had 14 rushes for 79 yards, no touchdowns. Zach Moss had 14 rushes for 61 yards and a touchdown. Josh Allen ran the ball 6 times for 41 yards. Stephon Diggs was targeted 10 times, had 7 catches for 114 yards. Emmanuel Sanders was targeted 6 times for 5 catches for 75 yards. And then, what's his name? David Knox, the tight end. Darwin Knox, the tight end, caught. Was targeted 8 times, caught 5 catches for 37 yards and 2 touchdowns. Not to mention, they even put in Mitchell Trubisky, and he even generated a scoring drive. Just like I said, complete embarrassment. I know people talking about this the worst loss in Texans history. Pump your brakes. I think don't be a prisoner of the moment. Don't have revisionist history. Don't be a prisoner of the moment. The loss at Miami back in 2015 when the Dolphins put up 42 points in the half. Like they put up more points than the Bills did all together, and they did it in the first half of football. When this game was 16-0 at halftime. This game actually, for the most part, in the beginning of the game, was competitive. The defense did really all they could. I mean, the defense. I mean, this kind of if you were a Texan fan, you remember back in 2002, the Texans' inaugural year. It was a game against the Steelers, where the Texans won, where they had less than 100 yards offense. The first time in for history, team had a win with less than 100 yards offense. The reason why they got that win because they had 2 pick sixes. Aaron Glenn caught 2 pick sixes. They also had punt return or fumble return or kickoff returns. They had a special teams touchdown too. So they scored off of special teams and defense. And you would have need something like that to happen multiple times in the game against the Bills because, like I said, they can generate no offense. Like I said, the best play offensively was Lonnie Johnson's pick, he almost took it to the house. That's the best play offensively. Then he almost had another pick later on in that game too. There was a play that he got beat in the end zone. Well, not beat in the end zone. It was a play where he basically gave up a touchdown to Knox because he basically bit in. He went in to try to go to double team not Emmanuel, double team Stephon Diggs and let Knox run wide open, and Josh Allen saw him. He got to the end zone. That was just him taking a bad angle, like him basically blowing this assignment rather. But for the most part, when he tried to play within the defense, he played well. I mean, it was a couple times that the Texans actually stopped the Bills. I know they stopped them once on 4th down in the first half. They stopped them a lot in the first half. It's just that eventually the dam broke and they couldn't do anything offensively. Like they really couldn't. They just couldn't do anything offensively when it came to stopping the Buffalo Bills. I mean, you talk about a team, the Texans can just generate nothing offensively. They had 6 first downs in the whole game. It was in the first deep into the second half. They had -3 yards of offense. Part of the reason why is because when you get sacked, those yards count as a minus to your team's total yardage. And Davis Mills was just getting complete embarrassed. He just looked like a rookie who didn't belong. Now, when I say Davis Mills is trash and horrible, I really don't mean that he's really trash and horrible because Davis Mills is what I think he is. He's a 3rd-string quarterback. What I've been saying from the beginning. He's a 3rd-string quarterback. At best, that's what he's at best. His ceiling, if he reaches every point of his potential marks, if he reaches the top of his potential on everything, to me, his ceiling is a backup quarterback. He is not a viable starter. He's not a guy you can really have a real option starter. He has to hit every single cylinder of all his progressions, of to use his tools, to use his mechanics, to tune them up, to use his arm strength and things like that, and get better involved with the game. His ceiling is a backup quarterback. And what I mean by that, a guy who could come in and mop up a game if your quarterback go down here and there. He may be able to get you through a game, maybe 2. But that's it. That's his ceiling. Y'all want to make him. There's a lot of people out there who want to make him the Texans starter, the franchise guy, and that's not it. You hope when you see that performance, you don't see a franchise guy. I hope you don't see that. Because if you think that's a franchise guy, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But I'm actually glad for that performance because I'm glad that door has been open and shut. This is the reason why I wanted him to start, not Tyrod Taylor. I know what Tyrod Taylor can do and what he can't do. We've seen Tyrod Taylor play for the last 10 years. Like, we know what Tyrod Taylor is. We didn't know for Davis Mills. This right basically confirmed what I thought Davis Mills already was. And I think it puts out there to all the the blind fans out there who want to put on the deep steel blue and battle red and Liberty white glasses. They just say, "Oh, he's a Texan. He going all the way. He gonna be rookie of the year." To all this stuff. He's the best playing rookie right now. He has the best completion percentage or the best quarterback rating of all the rookies out there. He's playing better than all the rookies out there. That was more of an indictment on the rookies. That's the more indictment on Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields and Zach Wilson, because Trey Lance is really not playing. He played against Seattle yesterday and was able to get 2 touchdowns over 100 yards. That's more so him, but he really didn't get the opportunity. But the rest of these guys out there, the rest of these quarterbacks, that's just more so of them just basically went to bed. That's an indictment on them, not an indictment on, not a good praise or excitement for Davis Mills and a good projection of Davis Mills. That just shows that these rest of the quarterbacks ain't been playing well. Because what you've seen, and at least with them, you've seen flashes. Like in Zach Wilson's game, and offensive, like the first game against the Texans, I think Trevor Lawrence played horrible. He threw 3 picks. He should have threw 2 more, because I know Justin Reed and Kersey, even though they got picks, missed 2 other picks because it hit them in the hands. But and he threw a lot of balls he was missed and was just thrown into the dirt. But still, you've seen flashes. On the touchdown, the 41 touchdown to the DJ Chark was a good throw. Even though it was in garbage time, it was a good throw. You've seen flashes. There was nothing in that game that you can say, hey, we can build upon this. There was nothing remotely close to that game as something we can build upon and maybe, okay, we can clean this up and we can maybe turn this into something, we can build some type of momentum. Because even in a bad blowout, that's the reason why they'll let people be playing and they'll try to come back, so not to come back in the game and not to pass steps, to get some type of rhythm to carry on to next week. And you couldn't do that against the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills played like they had a vengeance, like they owed something, and they really didn't. They knew that, and that's the reason why I say this this game can be the worst worst loss of franchise history. Because what were your expectations? The Texans' expectations going into the season was to be one of the worst, if not the worst team in the NFL, and then Tyrod Taylor goes down and you start Davis Mills. There's no expectation in that game. This is not the team that you because it's not led by the guy who you eventually thought was going to lead you this season. You thought it was going to be Tyrod Taylor. See, the game in 2015 against the Dolphins, that was a team that had Aaron Foster on that. That was actually Aaron Foster's last game as a Texan, rather. But you had Hopkins, you had the defense. Was JJ? Yeah, you had the defense. Had JJ, had Clowney, had Merciless, had Brian Cushing. That was the team that you thought was going, and the team eventually ended up going to the playoffs. But that's the team that you thought that you had. I mean, even though Brian Hoyer was your quarterback, but that's what you was going to the season as. And because of that, that's why that team actually had expectations. And if I'm not mistaken, I think they were favored to beat the Dolphins. You were 17-point underdog against against the Buffalo Bills. You're supposed to lose. You're supposed to get blown out. You're supposed to get your ass handed to you. And that's exactly what happened. You got your ass handed to you. You got completely embarrassed. And now, Tyrod Taylor is at the very least is going to be out against the Patriots. And Dave Mills going to get another one. Let's get another one like this. Let's seal this deal that Dave Mills is not the guy, and we can move on. Because all it takes is one fugazi-ass game, and you'll give him a whole season. The Texans brought back Ryan Mallett just because he beat the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns. Say it with me now. The Cleveland Browns. The Texans brought Ryan Mallett back the following season just because he beat the Cleveland Browns the year before. All you need is a half-ass decent performance. And they would try to, maybe we can do this. I don't want that to be the case. I want us to know definitively, right here, right now, rip the Band-Aid off. He's not the guy. So we know what we're looking at next year. Do we go after a quarterback next year? Do we do these things next year? Do we wait another year or two? Because basically, I feel like we're going to be in take mode for the next 2 years. I think this season and I think next season to a certain degree is still gonna be a tank mode. Like it might not be as full fledged. I think this one's gonna be the bulk of it's gonna really be the season that you tank. And I think depending on what you draft, if you're able to move Deshaun, what you get from him again, what you draft and what you get, if next season is gonna be a tank as well. Because it might not be that much of a tank if they found their franchise quarterback or they find somebody who they think is their quarterback. They might not tank as hard because they're going to try to build with their quarterback. But if they don't draft a quarterback, I think that they would be trying to tank next year to see exactly to get a high draft class and see exactly what they're doing. Then you hear John McClain talk about really out of Cincinnati. I know I've been hyped on a couple of guys here and then. I'm gonna do a video breaking down exactly the quarterback prospects that you need to keep your eyes on and who you need to watch out for these upcoming weeks in college football, because especially now we have I think a good opportunity in front of us that we can actually, instead of watching just highlights and film, we have actual games and we can actually watch real live games coming up and still early on in college football season, that we could watch some of these guys progress and grow to actually form a legit opinion, not just what the quote unquote experts say, oh, he's a guy, he's not a guy, because they steer you wrong all the time. I mean, they did not have Mahomes out and they had Trubisky to be the best quarterback in the draft. See how that worked out. The people was iffy on Joe Burrow because of him basically come out of nowhere and things like that. So they were so high on Tua, and now the Dolphins seem like they're trying to get rid of Tua. But that's neither here nor there. Those are conversations for another day. Back about this Bill performance, losing to the Bills 40-0. Like I said, just complete assing, being demolished, being dominated, and good for them. Like I said, good for the Houston Texans. I'm glad. I want Cal to look in the mirror and look at this product and be like, what the fuck have I done? Because this is all on you. That's why you can't be mad. And if I'm saying people were mad and upset while you watching the game, don't be mad. Don't be mad. Don't be upset. Because this is not on us. This is on Cal. This is on Jack. This is on Consario. This is on them. To a certain degree, it's on Deshaun. This is on them. This is the product that they put out there. Because they let egos and selfishness and other things consume. I'm going to win my way type shit. Oh, I'm going to believe you. I'm going to win my type of way. And I'm going to alienate our franchise quarterback. And, oh, I'm not going to talk to y'all no more. I don't want to get traded. Like, that's what that shit is. That's exactly what that shit is. Exactly. Like, point blank period. That's the product of that right there. Because of those guys. I don't know anything about football. I'm gonna let you handle it because you think you know what you're doing. I think you know what you're doing, guy. I'm gonna let you do it. Yeah, I know. This is the way we're gonna work, Cal. Like this is what we're going to do. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna win our way. I know people, the outside noise, they're gonna be like, no, don't. I know you don't do it like that. You have franchise quarterback. No, this is the way we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. We're gonna win our way. Yeah. I'm going to draft these guys. I'm going to sign these free agents. Don't worry, Cal. Don't worry, Jack. Y'all picked the right guy for the job. I've been doing this for 20 years. I know what I'm doing. You lying to me. I don't want to play with you guys anymore. I'll never play for that franchise ever again. Like, no. I'm not going to be a Houston Texan anymore. That's the shit. Because of those four guys, that's what you get. That's exactly what you get. Exactly what you get. And you can't really be mad. You can't be mad. You might, when you see the score, you might get a little angry. You might be, I can't believe this is embarrassing. But then you just gotta laugh to keep yourself from crying. Like you have to laugh because what else did you expect? Like I didn't expect it. I expected a performance similar to this. Like my prediction going into the game was 31-10. But it was 40-0. So I had the amount of points that was going to be scored correctly. I just spread it out too thin. It was all went to one team. But I expect more performances. Like I said, even like Davis Mills threw 4 picks. and he should have threw 3 more. He's lucky he didn't throw. He's lucky he didn't throw 7 picks. And he fumbled, and he was getting sacked. He couldn't move the football. He couldn't get the football to Brandon Cooks. He couldn't get the football to nobody. We can't run block for shit. We can't run for shit. It's just bad. The defense played okay in the first half, but then the water broke, the dam broke, and it was over in the second half. Point. That's exactly what it is. Exactly what it is. Man, like, subscribe if you haven't, comment below if you haven't, click that bell, get more videos. I holla.